This is the 2023 Toyota GR Corolla, and I'm gonna show you pretty much everything you need to know about it. Starting off with the outside design, it's completely different than the standard Corolla, and I'm sure you guys know that, but let's talk about a lot of the functionality behind this design because it's all intentful. Everything here is for a reason, so let's talk about it. Starting with the bottom, guys, this entire opening here is for the radiator, and if you look closely, you'll actually be able to peek into the GR4 branding they put in on that radiator, which is sick. And if you come up and get a little closer right here, you'll see there's two openings, and these are intentful. This one's just for the radiator, but this one is for your engine intake, so it's routing air directly to feed the engine. And this duct right here is feeding air to cool down the brakes. The one right next to it, this feeds air to reduce drag, but this feeds air through the wheel well. There's a little cutout here. Actually, I can come around, and you might be able to see it if you come closely. You'll see this little opening right there, and that's where the air comes out of, and it goes across the wheel. There is actually a downside to that flap, and it does cause lift. So that's why on the Rizzo edition, you can actually close that out if you're gonna be having a spoiler to balance your aero for when you're on the track, because it does make a difference, guys. You also get LED headlights here, and this one is the core model, so you do not get any hood vents, but the hood vents are available on the Circuit Edition for the 2023 model year, and then the Rizzo Edition, which they're only making a handful of, and I'll put the number of quantity that they're gonna be building, so it's very limited. So continuing around the side, this has the 18-inch, I think it's 10-spoke wheel, and these are rocking Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, and right over the wheel is a much wider fender. They had to really get the body lines out here to fit the wider track width of this car. And coming around the side, there's a vent here. And the main purpose of this vent is to extract heat from the engine and ultimately reduce lift, because hot air building up on the engine can cause lift. So this ultimately relieves that. You get these blacked out mirror caps here. This one has the regular roof, but you can get a carbon fiber roof on the Circuit Edition and the Rizzo Edition. It's forged carbon. It looks really cool. So there is that option if you want to, go up to that trim. Moving on the side, you get a side skirt that extends all the way across, and it says GR4, which is the Toyota GR Corolla's all-wheel drive system. And we'll actually talk about that a little more when we get inside the car, because there's a lot of settings that you can adjust with this system. Moving around back, you also get more molding around here to accentuate the wider track width of this car, and the wheels tuck in nicely into the back. So it gives it a really nice stance, but if you want to, you can add some spacers, clap this thing out, and you'll be mint. All right, continuing around the back, you do get a small decklit spoiler, nothing major. You can get a more aggressive spoiler on the Rizzo Edition if you'd like, and that's again gonna have to be balanced with those front ducts to make sure you have a good aero balance. But you get your wiper up here, you get LED taillights, and then if you come close, you'll actually see there's little channels here. And the intent of these is to reduce drag. So if you think of it this way, air is coming under the car, there's a nice under tray, but air is gonna come up and choose the path of least resistance, and there will be a lot of drag. This is basically a parachute at that point. So this slot right here alleviates that drag. And there's two of them. There's one here and there's one there. And you get the 3 exhaust tips for that 3-cylinder engine, which let's get into right now. Powering the GR Corolla is a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder engine making 300 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. But if you get the Rizzo Edition, that bumps the torque up to 295 pound-feet. But the engine bay does look really cool. If you come closer, you'll notice on the airbox, you'll see there's GR Toyota Gazoo Racing branding on it. You come to the engine bay, you have a turbo, because this is turbocharged, GR placard, and 3 little lines, because that's indicative of 3 intake runners and 3 cylinders. And yeah. But let's move inside and talk about everything you get in the vehicle. All right, inside the car, just remember this is the core model. So it's not the Circuit Edition, which will have other things which we'll talk more about. This is the core model. So it's the base GR Corolla. So let's move on to the seats, guys. They are aggressively bolstered fabric seats. And if you come to the headrest, you'll see that they have GR badging up there, which is nice. You get plastic right here. No really real place to put a harness. So that's not kind of what these seats are intended for. But they feel great and they're supportive. You get, this faux leather on the dash, a touchscreen which has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's the Toyota's newest infotainment system. So it's the latest tech, which is good. Going down here, you have the Qi wireless charging, 2-stage heated seats, your drive mode selector, so you can switch between Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. Traction control off, which you're gonna wanna do when you wanna get rid of that rev limiter. So if you go into Sport, turn on traction control, you'll no longer get that 4,200 RPM rev limiter. It'll let you bang against the red line, which is awesome, especially if you want to get a good acceleration time. we can't forget that this does have a 6-speed manual. The throws are nice. We'll talk about more about how it drives later on. And right below that, there's this knob right here. And that's your all-wheel drive control knob. It has different modes, but it's your GR4 control system. You have front, which gives you a 60-40 front-rear power split. So that's more for just day-to-day driving. You have rear, which sends 30% of the power to the front and 70% to the rear. So you get a rear bias setup on this all-wheel drive system, which is awesome. And then if you push it, it puts you in track mode, which gives you a 50-50 torque split. You get a manual handbrake up here. No center console, but you get this pad, which I think could have been a little deeper in case you don't want things sliding around. There's USB-C up here, but actually come closer. Let's talk about the steering wheel. It is a beefy leather wrap steering wheel, which feels great in the hands. Has a nice spoke, 3-spoke steering wheel. And just to hear the horn, sounds very intimidating for real road raging moments. The digital gauge cluster is customizable. You have different drive modes, and you have different settings where you can actually show different types of tachometers. You have a boost gauge. You have all sorts of information that you can put up on here, which is nice. You have your IMT button, which allows for the manual transmission to do auto rev matching, which is nice, and you can disable that and enable that on the fly. Let's go to the back seats just to show that real quick. So guys, the back seats are pretty simple. There's a Cricket in here in case you want that on your GR Corolla, but fabric seats. This does have armrests with cup holders, really basic. They're actually cup holders in the armrests, which is cool. It's a nice little touch because you actually don't get cup holders in here. So those are your cup holders in the vehicle. But let's check out the trunk real quick. And guys, this is a hatch, so you can't forget that you're gonna get a good amount of space back here, which is I have my backpack here. There's additional compartments down here that are lined in like kind of styrofoam, but overall it's a Toyota Corolla hatch. I don't know, actually, do you get a spare tire? No, you do not get a spare tire. No spare tire, but trunk space, and you can fold these seats 60-40 and get even more space if you'd like. One thing I want to know is on the Maurizio edition, there is just a rear stabilizer bar or cross brace. There are no rear seats, they ditched them completely. But one thing no one's really talking about with this cross brace is the fact that they're perfectly positioned to fit a set of tires for a track day. And I learned this from the technicians when they were getting these cars track ready. And while you're back here, I'm gonna do an exhaust, some revs, so. One thing you notice, actually, if you show the gauge cluster real quick, is if you press traction control once, it gives you a little expert text. I think it's just expert mode. And if I hold it, the text will go away. And then you get full traction control off mode. So if you press it once, it puts you in expert mode. And I don't know honestly what that does, but that was interesting to see when playing with the traction control button. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up here. Let's talk about how this thing actually drives. All right, guys, so right now we are actually in the Maurizio edition. So this is gonna be driving significantly different because it's got way stickier tires. It's tuned more aggressively, more torque. The strut bar behind me, way more structural adhesive in here. So this thing is gonna be way more rigid. All right, I might be making a mistake driving this one first, to be honest with you guys, but because everyone's saying this is the way more aggressive one, but let's just get a feeling for it. So the first thing you notice is just how much flatter this thing is around the turns. And it's just like, dude, the weight transfer is so nice from left to right. And it's got the grip. So you just, like, I want to try to, like, get it out a little bit. Yeah. You just get confidence in this car. This car gives you bigger balls. I swear to God. I shouldn't be doing this. Like, look at that. Yeah. Oh, it's coming out. Yeah, there we go. It's just so predictable, guys. I'm like, I shouldn't be this comfortable in the car. But I am. Look at that. This is bad. I mean, it's good, but it's bad. Oh, I don't know if I want to go down to the circuit edition after this. We're going to try it. But holy moly, this is a fun track. Oh, I love this car. This is actually great. Oh, the grip, it just like, look at that. And then get on the brakes. Honestly, guys, try one of these. Take it on track if you can. I'm actually like, oh, this is good. All right, guys, so now we are in the circuit edition, which Pretty different from the Morizo, obviously, in that it doesn't have the rear crossbar that goes and eliminates the back seats. Doesn't have the same tires, less torque, and I might have already spoiled by driving that one first. So, I mean, off the bat, you don't get the suede wrap steering wheel, so steering feels a little bit different. The steering itself, we'll find out. Okay, less torque, less grippy tires. Let's see how this thing goes. All right, let's get a feeling here. Brakes aren't bad. Woo! I think I'm just getting, okay, yeah, you could definitely feel there's less grip in these tires, but yeah, okay. But it still hooks, guys. It still hooks. Sliding it there. Oh, dude, this thing rotate. Dude. And this thing just feels so good. Just go downshift here. Oh shit! Oh, I got it sideways. What the? Yeah, dude. I think I got way too confident in the Morizo edition that I'm now like completely setting myself up for like oh shit moments. Yeah, I gotta take it easier. This thing does not go as fast as the Morizo. But this thing's still really fast, guys. Like, it's tires. Tires make a big difference. Just brake here, turn, let it go out. But like, guys, honestly, this is in a different power distribution setting. This is in track too. So it's 50-50 front rear. The other one was 30 in the front, 70 in the rear. So you do get more power coming to the front wheels. So you can feel that these front tires are, but it's rotating, guys. It's like, it's rotating. Oh my God. And I feel like you have control over that. Like, you can easily like adjust with your steering, with your throttle. It's very predictable. It doesn't snap on you.